Ahead of last year's AFL draft, Rachele was described as a competitive beast with an X factor that could turn games. But in his early teenage years, it was soccer that recognised his lightning speed and elite ball skills. Tell us a little bit about that time.
Yeah, so I started off playing soccer like football at about 6-7 years old and continued that on, and actually got into the Melbourne City youth squad at about 13, and at 15 years old was offered a scholarship contract. At the end of that year was offered in the initial under-17 Australian squad. I was unfortunately cut from that, which is a bit disappointing and was probably the reason why I went back to footy.
The Adelaide Crows have selected Joshua Rachele.
How have you settled in to beautiful Adelaide? This is the perfect Adelaide day.
I'm obviously not used to the beaches too much, coming from Victoria and a small country town in Shepparton, but yeah, I've settled in quite nicely. Obviously moving away from home at 16 to boarding school, so the transition was quite smooth. Living with a nice host family at the moment, and they've been very welcoming as well as everyone in the club, so I don't think I'll be going back home anytime soon.
So a whole new team, who have you developed a nice strong bond with?
Earlier on, Tex was probably the main one coming in, that forward connection, both playing in a similar position, and he kind of took me under my wing pretty early on, so he's someone I've leaned on for advice and guidance along the journey. I'm
sensing like a bit of a throwback to Tex's mullet as well there.
Yeah, I have been compared to a little bit. I think mine definitely looks better than his though.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Sorry, Taylor.
Big moment, Rachele! That's what they recruited him for.
What are your strengths as a footballer?
The main strengths of my game is definitely my goal sense around goals. I'm a very competitive person who wants to get the best out of not just myself but all my teammates. And I think the other one would definitely be my power and speed. So I know they're my strengths, but there's still things I'd like to work on in the future as well.
How do you think the team's going to go this year?
The boys have had a very good pre-season so far. We've had Darren Burgess come across from Melbourne and Port Adelaide, so he's been great value and experience to the boys. But I know we're going to be very competitive this year, a very young group, so we're just looking to develop each week. I think the main thing is just being very competitive and going to try and win as many games as we can.
What a way to introduce yourself to the AFL role.